and is, quote, supported by the evidence and interests of justice. Also mentioned today by the county attorney, back on May 5th, as Sergeant Hooser was turning around and running away when he saw Jayne driving towards him, the state now alleging that Jayne continued accelerating towards Hooser, and after striking him with the semi-truck, Jayne also continued driving directly at UHP trooper Dustin Griffiths and the female passenger who was out of the semi-truck but had previously been with Jayne. Those two were able to get out of the way of Jayne and the semi. Michael Jayne remains in custody without bail and has another hearing scheduled for November 13th. Now, we've done a number of pieces on Michael Jayne himself. I myself have, and here's one of them. Jayne had previously been charged with attempted murder of an officer in the state of Oregon back in 2009. And here's our coverage from what took place years ago involving Michael Jayne and that Oregon State Police trooper. It's March 26, 2009.
This recording is taking place inside a pre-book area of the Klamath County Jail.
An in-custody interview with Oregon State Police.
With me during this recording is Mr. Michael Aaron Jayne.
The day before this conversation, Michael Jayne was driving in Southern Oregon. Just before midnight, Jayne was stopped on I-5 outside of the city of Ashland for speeding. The trooper noticed Jayne was wearing body armor and went back to his car to call another trooper. According to the report, Jayne took off at speeds of more than 100 miles per hour. Troopers lost sight of the car, but that's when Trooper Patrick Trippett got involved.
Basically, my involvement began when you came back over 66.
According to Trooper Trippett's report, he spotted Jayne's vehicle shortly after midnight and pursued. After losing sight of Jayne's vehicle, he wrote, "I observed a vehicle rapidly approaching in my lane of travel at a closing speed of 60 miles per hour. In an effort to avoid a catastrophic head-on collision, I turned my patrol unit hard to the right and slid off the asphalt roadway into the cinder gravel."
So there's a lot of things going through my mind right now. Maybe there's going to be a pursuit. Maybe he's armed. Maybe he has less than friendly intentions for me.
In this remote, heavily forested area, Trooper Trippett called for backup. He tried to locate the vehicle for the next 45 minutes.
Taking it slow and easy, checking side roads, doing what I can to make sure I'm going home at the end of my shift. Okay?
Trooper Trippett came across Jayne's vehicle again around 1 a.m.
Just as I turn onto that road, lights come on around the corner, and here comes my white four-door Honda passenger car and attempts to ram the front of my patrol car down. At the time that occurred...
Don't you think if someone wrong and ram you, they would ram you?
The report indicated Trooper Trippett pursued Jayne for the next 20 minutes, reaching speeds of more than 100 miles per hour. Jayne drove his vehicle into a dirt embankment and ran into the brush. Officers, including canines, searched throughout the night to find Jayne, but were unsuccessful. The next night, Trooper Trippett was driving on the same highway when he came across Michael Jayne walking along the road. Still wearing body armor, Jayne was taken into custody at gunpoint.
Just for confirmation, Mr. Jayne.
A few hours later,
are you aware that this conversation is being recorded?
A conversation between Michael Jayne and Trooper Trippett.
How fast do you think you were going?
I wasn't driving, I don't know how fast, so I was looking at the speedometer.
Trooper Trippett tells Jayne he saw him in the car. He had shoe prints from the scene to match the shoes he was wearing.
And probably the most important charge that you'd be wanting to consider at this point would be 2 counts of attempted aggravated murder.
What? Come on, man. Are you really going to throw that shit on me?
I really am.
You're a officer. It's probably a life sentence, dude. If someone wanted to ram you, you know, you would get rammed. You were concerned about me having a weapon and me wearing this body armor.
Well, that vehicle will constitute a deadly weapon.
Come on. Yeah, it's a deadly weapon if you freaking strike somebody with it.
Michael Jayne was convicted on felony attempted assault and felony possession of body armor. He was not convicted of attempted aggravated murder.
Nobody had no intent of killing you, man.
What did you take away from that? A vehicle that could be used to commit a crime, perhaps murder, and it only is a weapon if you actually use it to commit said crime. Well, what you're seeing on your screen is more of our coverage of what happened in Utah 15 years after what you just heard there. This was from our coverage just about a week or so ago. I obtained the 911 call from what happened that morning on May 5th, which is before what took place with Santaquin Sergeant Bill Hooser and Michael Jayne behind the wheel. Really interesting, and I'm not done here. I've got a number of other pieces I'm working on and a couple hundred pieces of paperwork on my desk pertaining to Michael Jayne and his past. And we'll be bringing that to you here on KUTV 2 News, but if you'd like to see this, it's on our website right now. A Salt Lake City woman is dead following a police chase in West Valley City this afternoon. Kristen McPeak spoke to police about how they managed chases and how this tragedy unfolded.
What started as a routine police patrol at Fairborn Plaza in West Valley,
they came across a man who was smoking marijuana in the park, and they stopped to talk to him.
Ending in tragedy.
Hit head-on into a vehicle driven by a 52-year-old woman from Salt Lake City, and she was killed in that incident.
A woman dead, workers hurt, and a stolen truck totaled. According to police, a man whose identity hasn't been released took off from police and stole a truck from electric workers after being approached. In the process of stealing the truck, police say he hit one of those workers. Police say he then evaded police and went into a neighborhood south of West Valley Costco. He was spotted again traveling the wrong way down 2400 West behind Valley Fair Mall, ultimately coming to a stop and killing a woman.
How do police balance the pursuit side of things while also keeping the public safe?
Yeah, that is something that is taken into very serious consideration. Our community expects us to bring criminals to justice, and sometimes that involves pursuing them. However, our outline is very strict as to when officers may pursue.
The suspect was taken into custody and isn't hurt.
We are grateful that we've been able to bring this suspect into custody, and hopefully he can be held accountable for these actions.
Well, it's about that time to check in on what's going on outside, and it never seems to shift right now. As of late, it's been one thing after another after another. It's been heat, it's been dry weather. It's been nice to get out and escape the valley locations and go enjoy some foliage, Sean, but
yeah.
Boy, look at you. You're just using the R word like it's wash, rinse, repeat the record.
Yeah, you're not getting any relief in the St. George area, I'll tell you that. It still feels like summer, and yes, another day with record-breaking heat. This was the official high for yesterday, 101. Today we also reached 100 degrees, and that is the latest day that we've seen triple-digit temperatures in the state of Utah. It's also the only time we've seen triple-digit heat in the month of October. So this is just incredible. It's also breaking daily record highs. And here it is, 97 officially, including today, with triple-digit temperatures. That breaks the all-time record. We've got a gorgeous sunset, though, in St. George this evening as temperatures cooled off a little bit, not much. It's still hot at 95 degrees. If you're heading out there this weekend to St. George for the marathon, temperatures in the morning nice and comfortable, but heading towards lunchtime, they'll warm up quickly into the upper 80s. So prepare for that. Make sure you're staying hydrated. National parks forecast for tomorrow across the state, 70s, 80s, and 90s here. But the big trend here is just showing dry conditions. I'll let you know how long that lasts coming up in the next few minutes.
All right, Sean, thank you. A new law takes effect this week, helping people expunge their criminal record. House Bill 352 does three main things. First, it allows people to get a waiver to forego the Bureau of Criminal Investigation certificate fees. Second, it changes the entire fee waiver process to make it much more efficient, they say. And lastly, there's a pathway for people to find out if they're eligible for some automatic expungement.
I'm really happy to see lawmakers prioritize this issue because it doesn't just affect people, it affects us all. If we don't create lawful pathways for people to move forward with their lives, we all suffer.
Well, Utah has more than 800,000 people with a criminal record. Big number. For more information on the law and eligibility, visit this story on our website, KUTV.com. Still ahead here on the program tonight, a woman kidnapped with her children from southern Utah shares their story after being rescued in Nevada. Don't miss it.
felt like I was trapped, kind of like I didn't have like an exit, and that just became my life every day.
A woman who was allegedly kidnapped with her children in St. George speaking out for the first time. This kidnapping happened back in August. We told you about it here on 2 News. And one day after they went missing, Brittany Deal and her kids were found in the state of Nevada. She says her captor told them they were, quote, going to heaven. Liv Kelleher sat down with Brittany Deal in an exclusive interview to speak about her experience and how she feels the judicial system failed to protect her.
David Remley is currently being held at Purgatory Correctional Facility, and he has been charged with 3 counts of child kidnapping, 1 count of aggravated kidnapping, unauthorized use of a vehicle, and domestic assault. Brittany told me that she did have a protective order out against Remley at the time that they went missing, but she believes it did little to actually protect her.
Honestly, I feel like there's no point of a protective order or a restraining order. It's literally just a piece of paper. And I mean, you can't have a cop sitting outside of your house 24/7.
Brittany says the St. George Police Department were aware of Remley's criminal past and believed she was in danger. Police reports from just a few days prior to the abductions show officers recommending Remley stay in police custody without bail, something that did not happen.
Cops that I dealt with anyway, for me, they did their job. But as far as like the court, not so much.
How does it make you feel when you hear that the police are saying, hey, this is what I think, this is what I saw, and then the courts do the opposite?
It is very frustrating. I don't understand why the courts keep like dismissing things like that and letting them out.
Brittany says that in multiple instances, Remley hit her on the head, headbutted her, and smashed her head into a garage door. A recent MRI shows that she has a traumatic brain injury as a result.
He went to jail for it, and then there was a protective order, but he got out and he showed up to my house, and at that point I really didn't know what to do. Do I call the cops? Do I lose my place?
She says that if her abuser had been held accountable sooner, she and her family could be in a very different situation.
There has to be something else other than a protective order to protect victims, because it's not working. Like I said, like with me and other women, like, you know, getting hurt physically and even possibly dying, getting kidnapped, like, it's serious. And I think we need to be taken seriously, the victims.
I reached out to the St. George Police Department, who said that they cannot comment on ongoing investigations, and I plan to ask follow-up questions about their procedures and trainings when it comes to domestic abuse cases. However, no one was immediately available for an interview. Brittany did tell me that she plans to testify against Remley when the time comes, and that she feels significantly safer knowing that he is currently behind bars. In St. George, Liv Kelleher, KUTV 2 News.
Well, you could see, at least in Liv's shot there from earlier today, sunshine, warm temperatures. Again, what I said to you earlier, Sean, it is just like the same thing over and over.
Rinse and repeat.
It must get a little boring for you guys over in the Weather Center, because I know the severe weather and the changes and everything is what gets you guys going. And right now, I see over there just doing this every day, just twiddling those thumbs.
I don't know, practicing my golf
practicing
swing,
your
getting
swing,
ready for
listening
the
to
nice
music.
Hey, if there's nothing going on here, I'm always looking at what's going on across the
course
country.
you are.
Still dealing with active weather, the tropics still heating up, keeping a close eye on that. But yeah, here at home, we've got quiet conditions, and I'm looking for our first really good cold front. It's just not really expected in at least the next 10 to 14 days, it's looking like. We're in the 70s today, up and down the Wasatch Front. Plenty of clear skies to go around. A warm up from yesterday, so we're kind of heading back in the uptrend once again. 2 to 5 degrees warmer from yesterday. 75 in Logan, 77 in Delta, 81 in Milford, 95 in St. George right now. The winds have not been much of an issue here across much of the state. Southwestern Wyoming, though, northeastern Utah, we've been seeing some gustier winds that has elevated those wildfire concerns. When we get into Friday, though, we start to see some stronger winds across much of the state. As a result, we're starting to see a lot of these fire alerts starting to pop up across much of the area. That will be mainly for the day on Friday. So watch out for that. That'll be gusts up to 40 miles per hour. You'll see there's nothing going on. We've got no rain out there, even down closer towards the Four Corners, dealing with quiet conditions. What we are tracking, though, is our next cold front that'll be moving in by the end of the week. Out ahead of it, record-breaking heat on Friday, breezy conditions behind it, cooler temperatures, but not that cool It's just only going to drop us down a few degrees. So we've got the 50s and 40s here for lows as we head into the overnight. 49 in Cedar City, 42 in Nephi, 45 in Delta, 64 in St. George. Highs tomorrow, comfortable, beautiful conditions here. We're into the 80s, 82 in Delta, 83 in Price, 74 in Park City, 76 in Logan. Temperatures in St. George, we're nearing triple digits again. Friday, we can maybe break another record, daily record high, and also the latest triple-digit temperature in St. George. So we continue to keep this going. Next week, slightly cooler, but still 90s for highs. And then along the Wasatch Front, look, this is our normal for this time of year, 73 degrees, well above that here, surpassing that each and every day, nearing 90. If we do reach 90 on Friday, by the way, that'll be the latest 90-degree day that we have seen, and also the only 90-degree day during the month of October for Salt Lake City. So a lot going on here, Brian, and it's plenty warm each and every day into next week as well.
All right, Sean, I'll see you in just a few minutes here as we wrap up the show. You mentioned a lot going on all across the country, and this was obviously the big talker for a lot of folks, and they need your help. The victims of Hurricane Helene really need your assistance. KUTV is partnering with the Salvation Army and our parent company for Sinclair Cares Hurricane Helene Relief to assist with humanitarian relief efforts. Go to sinclaircares.com or pull out your phone right now. I will stall so you can grab it. Scan the QR code on your screen right now to make a donation. Scan that QR code again because the funds raised will go to emergency aid. Sinclair will match the first $50,000 raised at sinclaircares.com. Thanks for your help. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, Halloween festivities at the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium. What you'll soon be able to see as they celebrate the spooky season there. Boo. We're right back. Back here with meteorologist Sean Kelly to wrap things up on the show tonight, looking ahead to later this week when pirates will be taking over the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium. It's part of the aquarium's Halloween on the High Seas event happening the entire month of October.
All right, starting on Friday, the aquarium is hosting a scavenger hunt and spooky story time in the Ford Theater. The event wraps up with a trick or treasure event on Monday, October 28th.
And in celebration of the 25th anniversary of SpongeBob SquarePants, something I watched growing up as a kid, Wendy's and Paramount are partnering to launch Wendy's Krabby Patty collab. I've always waited for something like this. The Krabby Patty Burger and Pineapple Under the Sea Frosty will be available beginning next Tuesday, October 8th nationwide and on the Wendy's app.
Pineapple Frosty, huh? Well, fans have eagerly speculated and imagined how this iconic patty might taste, and Wendy's is bringing the collab burger for a limited time only. So get your Krabby Patties and get that Frosty too.
So is that how it looks right there? Is that what they're doing?
Who knows? You know,
this is like childhood for me.
It always looks really, really good in the commercials,
right,
and then you go there and
it's disheveled and it's all over the place. You're like, what is this in my burger? All right, go home, eat your cheeseburgers. We're back tomorrow night at 7. See ya.